Removing and cleaning fuel system parts of a motorcycle. Hello and welcome to this session on removing and cleaning fuel system parts of a motorcycle. One of the main causes of fuel filter failure has to do with the fuel tank. If you think about it, there are thousands of liters of fuel that go through the fuel tank every year. It is inevitable that some debris and sediment will end up in the fuel tank, and it is likely to develop rust as well. Hence, cleaning the fuel tank from time to time is an important task to help prolong the life of not only the fuel filter but the engine also. In this session, we will learn steps involved in removing and cleaning the fuel tank of a motorcycle. Before we go into the procedure, first let's take a look at the tools and materials. The tools are a set of spanners, socket set, tools tray, parts tray, torch, air compressor, cloth for wiping, a clean petrol storage container, funnel, steel wool, and anti-corrosion paint if needed. We will now see the steps involved in removing and cleaning the fuel tank. A word of caution. Make sure that the container holds all the petrol left in the tank. First of all, remove the seat cover and the two side panels in order to access the fuel tank. Then turn off the fuel tap. On motorcycles, it is normally located under the tank. On some three-wheelers, it is located on the front of the rear seat. Remove the fuel pipeline from the fuel tap or cock. Collect any draining petrol from the fuel pipeline into a small container. The fuel tank is fastened to the frame at the lower front or rear of the tank. On some motorcycles, the seat may need to be removed to access the bolt at the rear of the tank. In this case, we have already removed the seat. Loosen the rear bolt with a socket. If the motorcycle has a fuel gauge, lift the fuel tank slightly and unclip the wire connector from the tank. The tank should lift out. Place it in a clean area on a table or bench. Hold a clean petrol storage container under the fuel cock. Turn on the fuel cock. Drain the fuel in tank into the container while checking the fuel tap. This might require the help of one more person. Clean the fuel tank or pipe. Check the fuel tap for blockage or leakage. While draining the tank, turn the fuel tap on and off several times and observe the fuel flow. When off, it should stop without leaking. When on, it should flow smoothly. This confirms that the fuel tap is working well. Now, tilt the tank towards the petrol container. This allows any remaining fuel to flow towards the opening of the tank and into the container. Now turn the tap on and let the petrol flow. When all the petrol has drained, cap the container and set it in a safe place. Remove the fuel tank cap. Use compressed air to remove the last traces of fuel left in the tank and pipes. Use a torch or flashlight, not an open flame, to inspect the inside of the tank for rust or other debris. Some debris can be shaken out. Serious rust formation may require a professional tank cleaning, tank replacement, more frequent fuel filter changes, or fuel screen cleanings. Visually inspect the tank for any dent or corrosion. If corrosion is not attended to, the tank may develop leakage in the future. Tip: contact the owner and obtain permission to clean and paint the rust area with unmatched paint. Use steel wool to remove loose rust if any, being careful to stay away from painted surfaces. Use an anti-corrosion paint on the rust if any. Allow it to dry. Inspect the fuel lines for leaks, brittle rubber, abrasion or rub marks and damage. Inspect for improperly positioned line clip if used. Line clips keep fuel lines away from the hot parts of the engine and exhaust. Reposition the clip which holds the fuel line if needed. Here, there are no line clips used. Replace the old fuel lines if found worn or damaged by a quality fuel line of the same size. Refit the fuel tank. Clip the wire connector to the tank. Tighten the rear bolt with a socket. Reconnect the fuel line, making sure that the spring clamp is in place. Fill the drained petrol back into the fuel tank using a funnel if needed. Refit petrol cap. Turn on the fuel tap and examine for leakages. Take corrective action if needed. Reattach the side panels and the seat. Wipe tank and seat. Finally, clean up. Put away tools and materials in their proper place and clean the work area. With that, we come to the end of this session. In this session, we have learned to remove and clean the fuel tank of a motorcycle. Hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you.